Generic greetings and welcome back to Prison Architect. Today's beverage is a nice traditional cup of tea, the perfect beverage for making a prison facility, which is good because that's what we will be doing over these subsequent episodes and series. So welcome to Prison Architect, welcome to the channel, and I guess welcome to 2022. This is my first video of the year, so hopefully it will be an acceptable one to that. Over the course of the couple of weeks I took from YouTube as a break, I was trying a lot of new games, naturally, and also revisiting some older ones that I maybe not have played in a while, or I just wanted to check out to see what changes had been implemented, and this was one of those games. And I made a couple of prisons and such, which I may do a video on in the future. If you want to see, let me know. But I found that I got the most fun out of the game again, and sort of rediscovered it when I turned off all of the DLC. There's no denying that the DLC for the game does bring you a lot of options, but it also adds a lot of bloat as well, and it's also pretty much impenetrable to get into now if you've not seen it. So I wanted to go back to pretty much basics, not the very first alpha, you understand, that would be utterly ridiculous, but at least go back to the base game that you can pick up now with all the DLC turned off. Naturally, all of the accompanying patches are still included, so we will see some new stuff and some new fixes and probably some new bugs, but either way, we still got a lot of the options that we were wanting to have anyway, so that's okay. And that's what this series is going to be. We're just going to create a prison. We haven't done one of these in quite some time, and I had a desire to crack on and do a bit of a series. So this is that standard procedure. We're going to plan a rough plan in the first episode, and then obviously manage it and build it from there on in, probably getting prisoners towards the mid to latter part of the series. So we'll see how we go. Either way, let's go ahead and create our prison. So prisoner gender, we're going to go with female because there's been a lot of requests for us to do that, and also I promised that we would get around to it. In fact, there has been series where we've done that, but it was more closer to the release of these options. But there you go. In terms of the warden, I'm going to go with what have we got? The warden, the lobbyist, Rita, J.W. Periwinkle, the pacifier, and Safara Aknova. I'm probably going to go with her because we get a small cut of the resale value for contraband, which will come into play, well, you'll see. Probably early on. We have the option to choose guard dogs, so even though the DLC is off, this was something that was added you know, later on. So we've got the classic dog, we've got the companion, which looks like Gromit from Wallace and Gromit, we've got the husky, we've got the bow tie bandit, which I think we've tried before, and then the shepherd. I'm going to go with the bow tie bandit, I think. We're not doing warden mode. The world size, we are going to go with small. Now, I know that may be disappointing, but there is a plan in mind for that. The plan is to start with a small world size with default funds, but build it in such a way that we can expand north, east and south. At least that's the initial plan. Fog of War will be turned off because it's just better for you to see things. We're not going to go with jungle, snowbound or desert plot. Snowbound desert plot. No lunar plot. No. Forests will turn on because we can chop those down for cash money, generic units of currency. Lakes are off, buildings are off, fairly conditions are on. We're not going to have gangs, but we can turn that on in the future if need be. We're going to have events. I'm not going to bother with weather and temperature because it's problematic, but we are going to go with staff needs. Escape plans are also on. We're not going to go with unlimited funds, bureaucracy research, or tools and cheats, but we are going to press play and load into this one. So here we are. We are in Prison Architect. Okay, over to reports, to our intake, and we're going to close our intake. Going to close off all the ratios for now. I'm not too sure what sort of sec this is going to be. By all means, let me know in the comments which you would prefer, although I don't know why I asked that, because every time I do, people say max sec. I'm ruling out max sec from the beginning. We're going to go with min or medium, most likely medium, but again, let us know in the comments in terms of what you would like to see in terms of the type of prisoners that we get and designs, changes, etc. Obviously, there is a lead time from when you leave that comment to the recording, and if it's like 6 months after, then you can assume that pretty much it's not going to be implemented. Anyway, we have our intake, we've got our deliveries and garbage. Going to go over to our rooms and just delete both of those because we need to shift them over to the other side. So deliveries will go in here, garbage will go next to it. Doesn't really matter for now, that is temporary permanent. And back over to planning. So this is a small map, so it is a 80 size, so there you go, it's 80. So let's just find the center, so bring that down to 39, so that should be the center. Let me just double check. That is 39 to the end of that one, and then it is 39 to the end of that one. So that is the center of the prison over there. We're not going to do totally symmetrical, but as per, I will try to make it as much as I can. So the reason I said about the contraband is that we are going to have double skin walls. So we're going to have an outer wall and an inner wall with a little bit of a walkway between it, but it's not the distance of 10 for the outer inner wall contraband sort of safety net. So if it's over that, then the contraband can't be thrown in. In this size, because it's a small map, I mean, if we had to do the, say, the 10 size, it would be roughly there. So you can imagine the limited space that we have to build. So we're not going to do that. We're going to go with the standard sort of 2 gap between them and accept that contraband's going to be thrown over, and then what we'll do is find it and get some money off it. When we expand, however, the plan will be to expand to the north, to the west and to the south, and then we will probably put a bigger wall around that. This side we can always expand to there and put some walls as well and have some bridges across, but that's a very future us problem. Current us is more focused on actually getting some sort of base thing in here. So we'll have our entranceway there, and the typical entranceway, we have a visitor, not a visitor area, we have our reception here. And the main couple of things I wanted to do with this build is, obviously we're going to have, if we go over to our rooms here, we have to have a nursery. So activity room for prisoners with babies. That's the big difference in this setting here, and with this prisoner type. So we do need to have a area somewhere. We'll have the standard cells, which will be probably 3x2s with no amenities, etc. But then we'll have the nursery ones, which have the better cells and the nursery in the centre, or something like that. That's what I want to do there. But also, because I'm thinking about expansion from the get-go, say, is that the right size? It is. I want to have a central walkway right down the middle, and this will be staff / visitors only, and anything where the prisoners need to go and visit and staff members need to go in, the staff will come from the centre and then the prisoners will go that way. The problem with this is, how do you get from one side to the other? Well, yeah, good. I mean, I don't really know. We do have a footbridge option, which we can build a footbridge right across. However, that in the past has proved problematic, so I'll do what I can with this one. So I don't make any promises on this being exactly like it's going to be laid out here, but as I said, this is just a rough plan. That's 3 to there, that's 3 to there, so that is fine. So this is our reception. Obviously we're going to have the doors in there as well, doors in here, so these standard double doors, and there as well, so you can get access to around here. So let's go ahead and get on with the planning. So in terms of this area, I want to have it so that prisoners will come in, they'll go through the reception, and then they'll head out. So they'll just head out to wherever. So we'll have probably a entranceway double side there. So there's our doors. This is something that, as I said, the idea came into my head, and that's as far as I've went with it in terms of the planning, which is probably a bad idea, but there you go. We're going to run with it. We're going to run some walls right the way along here, probably right up here as well, because this is going to be a storage area. So again, we'll put a door in here and a door in here. This will all be changed as and when it needs to be. Inside here we want a 4x4. This is going to be our staff offices. So we'll have staff officer 1, 2, 3 and 4. That's not going to fit, so we do need a staff room. Staff room can then go at the end. The problem with that is this is nowhere near large enough, is it, when we consider that we also need a canteen for the staff, and we need another 3 officers. So what I'm going to do is go 1, 2, 3, 4 to there, and then run a wall probably across and down, just temporarily, you understand. Delete this section here and have it so that maybe the officers are built like so, and then you can sort of come along. These are your officers here. That can be our storage area, which is acceptable. And then at the back we have 2 rooms. One is for like a staff room, and the other one is a canteen. That may be too small. I may have to shift these up and move storage, but that is the very base plan from the get-go. That also is going to change this side, so we will alter this side. These are going to contain probably a lot of the buildings that we need certain staff members in. So for example, we could have like a chapel in here, could have like a library, etc. Visitation. We're just going to earmark this for those sort of buildings. So I'm just going to sort of roughly partition it off like that. Big chapel, a couple of small areas. What size is that? 5. Let's change that to a 6. Each one of these will be 6. So 1, 2, that seems about right. Yes, it is. And then 3. and I'll just fumble with the mouse there. Clicky, clicky, draggy, draggy. Job done. Okay, so that is, as I said, that bit there. Prisoners will come along here and then be met by a big section that juts out. That's going to be 6 by 10 internal. That actually is going to be 9. Now 10 internal. That's fine. This is going to go on both sides, and this is going to be a kitchen, and the kitchen and canteen will go on both sides. So internal should be 6 by 10, which it is on that one, and this one is also a 6 by 10. And then following from this, we will have a canteen that is sort of bolted onto it. So we'll have the canteen like so, maybe there. Obviously this is probably oversized. In fact, I am actually making it oversized on purpose because it gives us extra options later on, but also, and that's going to be a toilet block, by the way. But also, when we get more prisoners, because we're going to have very few prisoners when we make this. This is basically this very starting shell of the game. So, of the prison, should I say. That's a 23 there, so we'll expand up to 23 like so, over to the right-hand side and then down. That's job done. So this is 2 kitchens and 2 canteens. Historically, 2 kitchens would break immediately, but we'll see what happens with this one. I want to, I think, open this up a little bit like so, and have it so that the walkways go maybe... how do I want to do this? I want the walkways to be like we have a bridge across, so the bridge will go like there across to there. And then these are both outside, and the bridge goes across there, and the pathways can go straight through here. That was the idea anyway. So over to our pathways. So pathways will be here. This will all be outside. That'll go to the end there. Why did that not go fully to the end? I do not know why. Then down to here, and then most likely we'll run it across. This will run across here. That is a perfect area for the yard, which is probably what I will make that as. This will come down to this area. So there's a nice little yard there, which is acceptable. Don't know about the entranceways here. Haven't yet decided. Haven't yet made up my mind. This will go in there, and then we're not going to run them across because, quite frankly, we're going to have buildings in here. Is that a bit of a waste then? Is that a bit of a waste? Okay, that is potentially a bit of a waste. The other option I have is to do it the other way around. So have, for example, if I remove all of these and these sections here, we have the walls coming across like so, and then this will be pathway. So we'll have a doorway there and a doorway there. We won't have walls. Oh, we will have walls, but this will be actually outside. So this will be building, this will be foundation. But this is where we'll have our bridge across, like that. Okay, I haven't decided on this. I'll see how it goes. Most likely we'll see how it breaks. So what we want to do is have all of this set to a particular size, which is going to be, in this particular case, 10 by something. And then this will actually extend right to the end because, as I said, I do plan on extending to the left. So that is what's going to happen there. And all of this, again, is for an area for visitors as well as for staff members. And hopefully all of the people that I mentioned will go across this way rather than having to go around. In fact, you know what I might do? I might just remove that section there just so we can close that off and we can have our pathways that go around the outside. So again, I'm not specifically earmarking these for anything in particular. I know we need laundry, I know we need common rooms, there's all manner of things that we need, but this is where we'll have a lot of those things. So let's just roughly say, look, let's have it an internal of 6, shall we say. Obviously, these will change based on the size that is required for the room that we're placing in. I'm sure there'll be things that we are also missing out on. I don't necessarily plan on having a library or a shop or anything like that to start with. I don't see that is something that is vastly required. I'm going to probably leave the left ones a bit bigger for, say, visitation and something like that. But yeah, there's that there in there. So, and that is what we've got in that area. So these will be built, well, we'll change them to whatever we need to be. So for example, we'll have the yard. Actually, we'll put the yards in. We might as well, although you can hardly see the yards because of the actual opacity of this one. I think that is about right. That's good enough for government work. So we are. Let's just have a quick rundown. It's always best to have a rundown of the rooms and such. So cells, holding cells, we haven't done those yet. Dormitories, I haven't ruled out, although I did plan on doing proper cells from the beginning. Family cells we need to make as well. Family cells and nurseries go hand in hand, and we'll touch on that later. Kitchen and canteen, we do have 2 of those, including a canteen area with a toilet in, so they can fulfill those needs there. Showers I don't have, but I plan on putting those at the back of each of the cell blocks, although we are very much running out of space already. Storage we do have technically in here, but I think it will be changed, but we'll see how we get on with that one. Deliveries and garbage are in. Workshop, we're not having anything until we do expansion. Security can be in one of these areas. We have in our workshops, we have our offices down here. We have a total of 6 of them, but we only need 5. Infirmary and the morgue will be around here somewhere. Common rooms, similar thing, most likely one of these buildings. Laundry will be around here. Visitation, similar thing. Most likely we'll have visitation on both sides, just to give it, a nice ease of access for the prisoners. Laundry we'll have around here. Visitation we've been touched on. Cleaning cupboard we're probably not going to have any. Kennel will be in one of these buildings here, which will most likely section off. Armory I'm not going to have at the very beginning, but I'm not ruling it out for later expansion in the series. Staff room we do have. Similarly, we'll touch on the canteen for the staff members, which will be around here. We'll probably just open this up to one big building. In fact, what we could do is probably shift this entire thing left one. We could go to the right one. There's no reason why we can't do either direction and then get more room and whatever, but yeah, it is what it is. The library we're not going to have. Forestry we're not having. Classroom we will have around here. We are not having exports. We do probably want a chapel, maybe this building or one around here. The parole we'll have to have, so we'll have to have that somewhere, but maybe we can probably save that for later expansion. Reception will be at the front. We've already planned that off. Mailroom probably not going to have, and shop we're not going to have. Gymnasium most likely not going to have. A nursery we have to have. So the only thing really that we are missing out on are the cells. So let's go ahead and build the cell blocks. So I'm going to go with an 11 by what is that? 11 by 18, and let me just see how many of these we can fit in. 11 by 18 we would not be able to fit in a lot, but it does give us the option for putting in a slightly bigger area where we can have our nursery and our cells for the prisoners with babies. Let's just double check the sizing of this one. This is going to be a 3 by 2 standard procedure cells. So let's go ahead and do a 3 by 2 and 3 by 2. That is very cramped, isn't it? That's very, very cramped indeed. If we were to expand up to that, let's just see roughly how many we've got. Those that are mathematically inclined have probably already worked it out, but it appears to be, with that form factor, 2, 4, 6, 8 cells. That is not very big for these type of chalets that we've got. Plus at the back I was going to have a room for showers, but that is just ridiculous. It's far too large. What if then, what would happen if we were to do it the other direction? So if we were to expand right up and then do that, we would end up with, once again, a wrong form factor, which is bad. Okay, it would be 2, 4, 6 cells. It will be 6 cells. Okay, let's change things up. Again, this is all just trying it out. Let's change it to a 10 by 18, and once again, we'll run that up and then down to there. So we have a walkway of 2 in the center, which is acceptable. We could, if we really wanted to, excuse me, we could go ahead and have the showers inside of the cells. That is a possibility. Another possibility is that we have a graded cell at the back, which is slightly larger, like you see here. Again, could potentially work. And what else could we do? I guess we could rush down bureaucracy, couldn't we? Rush down bureaucracy and get smaller cells. Don't really like the idea of that. Speaking of smaller cells, what if we were to really make it small? And have it like that. It's a possibility. Okay. that would give us probably more options. We go for those buildings, then 1, 2, 3. Yeah, but the cell block with 1, 2, 3, and that could always have dormitory at the back. Have that as a dorm. Bed, bed, bed. It's possible, but I still don't like it. It's because I've set myself up a failure with immediately having this gap of 2 around every building. Which you don't need to have that, by the way. It's just something that I've done in a lot of series. Just my default option. Okay. There is another cell type, and let's see if I can remember this design of it. So you have, essentially... Let me see if I can work it out. It was something like this, and... Is it like that? I think it's like that. No. Trying to think. Because it has to be a 3x2, so it has to be that size. That has to be the size of that one. But then you could essentially open up a section where you could have like a toilet and shower there. That's just making it ridiculous in terms of the sizing. Oh, was it that? No, I can't remember. Anyway, I think for now, we'll have to go with something like that in terms of size, and I'll see what I can fit in. We could go full dormitory from the beginning, couldn't we? If we go full dorms, that would be entrance like so. Bed, 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 and then little sort of toilet shower block at the back. That is a possibility. But almost everything in the world is a possibility. It's just whether or not it's desirable. Getting a bit philosophical there for what is 10 in the morning as a time recording. So yeah, I think what we'll do, I'm gonna say that I haven't decided, and I don't think there's any problem with that. I haven't decided what to do there, but I'll come back to it. It's something that we can change. We're not going to be. This is the area we have. That's it. We have to build in here. The other option is that I build horizontally. What would that be like then? 19. Oh, that's possible. Turn of 5, turn of 8. No, it's going to be odd whatever we do. 7, 6. Okay, yeah, that's not going to work out. Alright, so we're going to stick with, for now, this form factor. But I haven't yet decided on the design of the cells, or whether or not they're going to be dormitories. These ones, however, slightly different. Excuse me. We're going to have... Where is it? Family cells. Minimum size, 4x4. And then you need nurseries in the middle. So, we'll have... What size is this? It is a 13, so there is a middle. That looks about right. And the size of the cell is going to be, well, 4 there and 4 there. That is far too small. Okay. Alright, okay. Let's just redo that. Just redo it. Built most of the planning and stuff and did that in the first 10 minutes. Then we're going to spend 50 minutes on trying to work out the size of these things. So, if there were 4x4, then obviously the sizing is off. Going to be slightly larger cells, which is going to be 6 instead of 4x4. So I could make them 5x5 and then a 4. So slightly higher graded. Don't particularly like that though. And then we're going to have to increase the size of these. So I'm tempted then to have these horizontal as a layout like this. So, just like the teacher said, show you're working. Well, we're trying to show our working. 2, 4, 6, 8 family cells. Within the centre, this can be set as, that is a 4 by however long it needs to be. Which in terms of rooms wise, nursery is no minimum size and technically doesn't even need to be out indoors. You can have an outdoor nursery. Good job, we haven't got weather and temperature on. So if this was to be that, do I want to make it bigger? Maybe. 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 Don't know. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Then this would come into play. Here's our cell block here. 16. Entrance wave 2, entrance wave 2. Could have... Again, just sort of thinking aloud, really. Whichever way we have it, it's going to be wrong. Okay. Alright, hang on. Got something going on here, haven't we? What about that? 2, 4, 6, 8. Form factor of 13 by 18. 8 cells with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 showers. That works out. And then this is, say, phone booths and such. Alright. The plan sort of sticks, I think. I think that works. And hopefully, if, for example, we were to do that, does it translate to expansion? No. Not yet. We'd have to delete another one. But we knew the family cells were going to be large anyway. These, I should point out, are far too large. These family cells. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. That's 20 family cells for 60. We've got 16 capacity for prisoners without children and 24 with. So this is obviously not sustainable at all. This is the basic. Like, there you go. It's in. We get that. We expand. We add more. All right. Let's not ruminate about too much. Cells, yes. Holding cells... we'll touch on that later, no. Well, no, we're not going to have one, to be fair. Solitary, no, because I always forget it. We could technically put it in there, but I don't know. We'll probably have it in one of these buildings. Dormitories, I'm still not ruling it out, but I would like to know some feedback on that one. Most likely, we're going to go with this, because that seems to be quite interesting, and I'll always go with interesting over maybe just slamming down a dormitory. I say always, not always, but yeah, I'm leaning towards this. This feels like a nice compromise. Family cells, yes, and also nursery was going to be in the middle as well as common room and such. Canteen and kitchen, yes, 2 of each of one. Showers is going to go in the middle there. These are going to have their own inbuilt showers, so that's fine. Yard, yes, 2 of. Storage, 1, which may be shifted and maybe shrunk down a little bit. We have deliveries and garbage, 1. We'll probably have to move those. No workshops. Security, we don't have, but we'll most likely put one in here. We're not going to have any... oh, no, actually, we are. Officers, we got 4, 8, no, 6. I'm doing the maths on the fly. We've got 6 total, but we only need 4. 8 is what we need total if we're going to have a workshop on the top and bottom, but I don't think we'll have it there. Okay. We'll have our infirmary and morgue somewhere in the centre. We'll have common room as a similar thing. Laundry will go, again, somewhere in the middle. We probably won't have 2 visitation in the middle, most likely in this one and this one, or 2 of. Cleaning cupboard, no. Kennel, yes, which will be near the security room, probably on the top right. We'll have an armory later on. We're not going to build that straight away. Staff room, yes, as the accompanying sort of canteen, which will go down there for the staff canteen. We have our... we've got a library. Do we want to build a library? We probably have the room for it, but I'm not going to bother. I don't think, not for the beginning one. Forestry we are not going to have. Classroom we'll probably have in the middle. Exports we don't need yet. The chapel will go in probably here or maybe in one of the central buildings. We don't have parole, but again we've just earmarked a big space for it. Reception at the front. Mail room probably not. Shop probably not. Nursery will go in here. Gymnasium we're not going to have it. The only thing that I can think of at this stage that I'm missing is a place to put the power station and water pump, which will have to go in one of these buildings. So with that said and done, there is our proposed idea. Yeah, first prison of the new year, first prison in a long time, well, apart from the little tests I was doing over Christmas. Interesting. Well, we're going to leave it there. That's been a bit of Prison Architect. Next episode, I will crack on and build a lot of the stuff that I don't think will change. So, for example, we'll do the walls. We'll do the stuff for the yards. We'll put some pathways in. We'll probably build one of these areas, and we'll basically go through and do a lot of these grants. So that is the idea, that's the intention, and I'd like to know your feedback in terms of the design and what you'd like to see in terms of the prisoners, etc. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm leaning towards this design, but I'm not opposed to just going back to this and having it as a dormitory. I think this, however, it just fits, so you know, if it fits, it sits. It goes in there. When we expand, we just basically copy, clone that, stamp, 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 stamp. Loads more prisoners. So that's my intention. Yeah, let us know what you think. Obviously, there is a lead time when it comes to the comments and me getting to it, but based on recording schedule, etc. And you know, if it's 6 months after, then sorry, that ship sailed. Either way, hope you have enjoyed this episode and the first episode of this series. Let me know what you think. Thanks very much for watching. Take care and generic partings.